Alright, let's do this. This is going to be game number 9 of our Bronze to Masters series. This is series 1. We're still in series 1. This is day 2 of the broadcast, but still series 1. So we are on game 9. We are currently in Gold League. Our opponent is a Gold League Zerg player named Diomedes. Sounds oddly Greek. I feel like I've heard Diomedes somewhere. I feel like that was one of the... Nah, I don't want any Argonauts. Just feel like he was someone from the Iliad. I think the Iliad's probably one of my favorite stories. But so TVZ, let's do a good, nice, clean macro build to start things off here. We're gonna go command center first. And that's basically going to be our objective. Command center first build. We're going to focus on macro play, of course, and we're going to go for a bio, probably Widowmine style, just because that's the popular way to do this. I've decided the flavor of the week is going to be, in terms of my game client language, is going to be Russian, because why not? Hopefully you guys can hear me loud and clear. Everything is sounding good in the stream. Of course, these are all going to be on YouTube. You could be watching this on YouTube right now. How crazy is that thought? What's even weirder is that I'm saying it live. But, okay, his drone is here. I'm actually, some SCV a bit early, but I want to wall this off pretty much. And don't be afraid to send an SCV to kill the drone. If he decides to attack you like this, to just attack with both SCVs. Building your command center, if you get the drone kill, is pretty big. So I'm gonna go build my barracks. If this SCV scouts, like, that's actually fine. So barracks at 15 supply. Keep that in mind, guys. Command center 14, barracks at 15. This way you can get a wall up. And now, if he did anything like a 6 pool or a 10 pool, I've got a little bit of defense set up. It'll be hard to hold something like a 6 pool, but and then at 16 supply, you want to take your gas. So important to remember that. Very basic build order concepts for this. I've actually now included the key presses. You can see that in the bottom right for the tutorial series. So you can now see exactly what I'm pressing. I have a couple of different hotkey setups. Okay, so keep in mind, guys, whenever you go to scout a Zerg player, this is very important. His hatchery is going to be done around 3 minutes and 50 seconds. This is super important because if it finishes at 3 minutes and 50 seconds, that means it's a 15 hatch. So it's going to finish like before 4 minutes or like at 4 minutes. So I know he didn't go pool first. And now when I go in to scout him, I'm going to get a very good reinforcement of that assumption. So he has the pool now. He probably started it right after he started his hatchery, but he's also taking some gas. So this could be some kind of one-base play. We have to be aware of this possibility. So what I'm going to do is send my SCV over to the tower. I'm going to get my bunker up a bit sooner than later, I think. This shouldn't block my command center. Sometimes I goof that up, but I've been trying to actually improve my bunker placement on this map. So and now at 100 gas, guys, it's 100 gas. Forget the supply count. I've got 100 gas. Boom, factory. That's the goal here. So call down the mule and then immediately move this bad boy over. And then I'm going to move my barracks over. Ah, no. Got to keep building. I'm going to move my barracks over. We're going to build a reactor. And I'm going to get another supply depot to make sure I'm walled off, just in case he has anything like speedlings. But the importance of keeping my SCV alive and keeping it on the field here, if he moves out with roaches, zerglings, banelings, ultralisks, anything like that, I can see that coming. So now he's got some zerglings. But my bunker positioning is actually going to cover both my ramp and this, my mineral line. So now at this point, because we're going to be playing a super macro greedy build, I'm going to get my 3rd command center. You will lose to a lot of all-ins doing this build, but the more you play the game, the better feeling you'll get. You'll be like, okay, well, this is what this all-in looks like. And it's just kind of like a matter of like some trial and error. It'll never be easy to hold all-ins, but it's important. So he's moving out with a lot of roaches. So my reaction, I'm going to try to get another bunker up. I'll maybe pull a couple SCVs to repair behind here. My biggest fear is him running up my ramp. I'm going to get widow mines as well now. This is going to be a bit difficult to deal with. Don't really have too many So I've got some SCVs pre-positioned to repair. He's sending out a lot of roaches, so. I'm getting another bunker, possibly to buy myself a little bit of time. The big goal with this... Alright, so things I really don't want him to do is like get inside my base. But it's okay to lose SCVs. Think about it this way, guys. If you look at the number of workers I have, we're going to check this in the replay. He's going to kill off some SCVs, but the really important thing here... And now I'm going to start that orbital command. We're going to get 2 more engineering bays. So I delayed my refinery to make sure I could afford unit production. Okay, don't want to fight that. But basically the big deal about why I was able to hold that was I kept the SCVs behind the bunker to repair it. I didn't throw my Hellions out. Every bit of DPS counts, and I used this tech lab. See, we're going to get a fast stim, and like stim's almost halfway done now. But the really important thing to keep in mind when you're doing this is, now we're just going to add on barracks as we can afford them. So my gas was a little bit late, so our 1-1 might be a little bit late. But it's okay. It's okay. He killed a good number of SCVs, sure, but it's actually making more roaches. Well, I made another Marauder. Ah, no. Okay. So... And Widow Mines are really good in these kinds of situations. So if he's going to keep making roaches, I got to go back into making Widow Mines, but... Notice I'm starting my 1-1. It's important to focus on the important things. Even though he's putting on a lot of pressure, he's bringing a lot of aggression towards me. I'm bringing forward these SCVs to repair. I'm just continuing to add on my barracks. Do not stop macroing. It's so important. So many players will lose games because they'll get a little bit behind and then they just give up. My mines can actually poke away at him if he wants to attack that. So I'm not giving him an inch. And now once these are done, remember, guys, last week we saw that core setup. It was 2 tech labs and 4 reactors, basically, in terms of our setup. So now that I've taken out those roaches for the most part, okay, he's got a couple more of them, so I'm just going to run these Hellions away. I'm going to go try to scout him out, see if he's doing anything else. I'm going to add on a starport. Things that can happen to in these situations, getting supply blocked very easily. It's like I'm a supply block right now. But I'm just going to throw up a couple more. No worries, guys. If you can, though, use a supply drop. Never be afraid to use a supply drop. Never, ever be afraid to supply drop. Because being able to make units is more important than anything else in the game for you. If you're in a Bronze to Masters scenario, if you're not in Master League, that is probably number 1 reason why you lose games, because a lack of actual unit counts. So I want to prepare myself in case he's got any kind of Mutalisk follow-up. He's got a lot more roaches, so he could be trying to go for something like a possible, like a further roach follow-up, but we're pretty safe now because, actually, I'm going to just move the starport onto this reactor, and this one will build another reactor. So things I could do, because he's building a lot of roaches, I could do like a really heavy Marauder follow-up, but right now I really want to get my 3rd base. Like that's, and I guess for the sake of what you probably see in pro games, I'm going to take a pretty responsible 3rd base. So we're going to take a 3rd over here. Did I start an armory? No. Okay. So armory, very important. These are the kinds of things that you can get distracted by when you're trying to do these sorts of things. Okay, looks like he's actually got more roaches, so I should be a little bit careful. We're going to try to get some medevacs out. Alright, I'm going to need to turtle up. Yeah, but he's pressing me he's pressing forward against me now with more of these roaches, and I'm just gonna take this fight, win pretty handily. You can kind of see where the roaches, as strong as they were earlier when we were scared, once we got up our stem, we were pretty safe. And some of the things that you can do to secure yourself a little bit farther, you're going to notice the Widow Mine positioning. I'm using it to defend my expansions right now. My opponent's being so aggressive that, so you might think normally, okay, well, Nathan, don't I want to be aggressive versus Zerg? If your opponent is being aggressive towards you, there's no reason to do anything crazy to be aggressive back. No reason at all. You're perfectly safe to just turtle up, set up your defenses, and see, what I'm going to do is get a nice big wall in front of this. And now, this guy can't really do too much because I got the Widow Mines, of course. I've got the bunker. And I'm just going to throw 2 Marines and a Marauder in that bunker, and we're fine. Get a missile turret, get some gas, make sure you don't get supply blocked. I'm a bit oversaturated here, so I'm going to move some more of these SCVs down. And, yeah, continuing to produce medevacs and widow mines. So, I mean, you could say, Nathan, what's the optimal time to push? There is no optimal time, right? He's been so aggressive, we can pretty much do whatever we want, get everything set up. We could start a 4th command center if we wanted to as well, and then at that point we can push. So the really, really important things to do here is to not think about it. Like, don't worry about pushing him. Just build supply depots. Think about why I have so many units right now. I'm not looking at his base. I haven't scouted beyond anything because he's been aggressive. It doesn't matter. I'm sitting here. I'm making sure that my macro is good. My economy is fine. And now I have a ton of widow mines. I've got a ton of Marines, Marauders, good amount of medevacs. I even saw some Hellions from earlier. So he's going to come in here and bring some Mutalisks up. And now I'm just going to use my rallied Marines to take care of these. And I'm going to go push him because it doesn't matter anymore. So now I'm just going to go attack him. And at this point, my macro infrastructure is so well set up, I can afford to just produce everything that I need to deal with this right here. Send everything back to mine. And he's being a bit annoying, admittedly, with his setup, but it's not any real threat. So I see these guys a lot. He's going to catch these widow mines. It's important to make sure you focus on what you have at home. I won't focus as much on engagements. But at this point now, he's going to walk into the widow mines. And I just got so much. I'm just going to completely just overpower him. And just stutter step forward into his roaches. So it's important to keep macroing behind this at home. So I'm still producing Marines, still producing Marauders. And, yeah. Should rebuild this missile turret, though. And yeah, that's about it. I basically just won this game now. Let's scan, see if he has any other bases. No. And yeah, we're just gonna push through. Basically just kill this guy. So other fancy things you can do, if you want to drop, you can. But you can kind of see here that despite everything this guy did, just macroing really, really hard gave us way more of an advantage than any amount of fancy tricks. You'll see a lot of pro gamers do very, very fancy tricks whenever they're playing on tournaments or on ladder when you watch them stream. But you don't need to do anything fancy to win games of StarCraft at this level of play. All you need to do is just macro better than the other guy. I produced a ton of units. He was really aggressive. He couldn't kill me early on with a roach attack, even with a follow-up roach attack. And I feel like that's something a lot of you guys probably have trouble with. And simple as that. I've already won this game. My drop is hitting him as well. He's got an Ultralisk Cavern, but it doesn't even matter. Like, what can he afford to make when he's been building roaches all game long? And then, if you're feeling a little frisky, you can drop a mule in their base. And GG. So, that's game number 9 of our Bronze to Masters tutorial series.